In part 1 of this 4-part video series, we covered the basics of how food service establishments are regulated. In this video, we'll dive deeper into a typical food service health inspection. The most common type of inspections are routine inspections, comprehensive, regularly conducted visits that all food service establishments receive every 6 to 18 months, depending on local health department practices. If a restaurant performs well on a routine inspection, it won't be inspected again until its next scheduled routine inspection. However, if certain high-risk issues are found during the routine inspection, it is common for health departments to conduct a re-inspection or follow-up inspection within a couple of days or weeks. Re-inspections are typically limited in scope and focus on verifying if the previously cited issues have been satisfactorily resolved. Other less common inspection types include complaint inspections, which are conducted in response to a consumer filing a complaint about a food service business with their local health department. Another category is pre-opening inspections, which are conducted prior to a restaurant opening for the first time. Once a pre-opening inspection is passed, the facility is authorized to start serving food to the public. Each local health department has its own practices for enforcing health inspections, meaning that inspection frequencies and the risk items called violations that are assessed during an inspection can vary across the country. While there is no nationally mandated inspection format or scoring system in the US, most health departments check for a similar set of violations that are generally based on the FDA Food Code. There are typically around 50 risk items assessed during a routine inspection, which are often grouped into categories based on the foodborne illness risk levels associated with each violation. However, there is no standard system of organization, so these classifications can also vary across jurisdictions. One common system of organizing violations is the Priority Foundation and Core Items categorization system used and recommended by the FDA. In this system, all critical violations, those that pose the greatest risk of foodborne illness, fall under the Priority Items category and require immediate attention. Examples of priority items include items to ensure that food is received, cooked, reheated, served, and kept at safe temperatures. Other priority items make sure that food and water come from an approved source and are properly separated, served, and stored to prevent contamination. Food additives and any toxic substances, like cleaning solutions, must be approved, correctly labeled, and stored. Employees should be knowledgeable of their responsibilities in regards to food safety and hygiene, including proper hand-washing procedures and the use of gloves. Other priority items check to ensure that there are proper practices of separating and disposing of waste. Priority Foundation items support or facilitate one or more corresponding priority items, and although non-critical, still require prompt attention. An example of a Priority Foundation item is whether thermometers are provided and accurate, which supports the priority items mentioned earlier regarding food temperature. Another example is whether there are adequate hand-washing facilities available, which supports the priority items related to hand-washing and employee hygiene. Other Priority Foundation items require that food service establishments have proper administrative permits, processes, and consumer advisories in place. All other non-critical violations fall under the Core Items category and relate to general sanitation and maintenance of facilities and structures, such as whether there is adequate ventilation and lighting in the kitchen. Other core items monitor employee personal cleanliness, utensil and equipment storage practices, and other good retail practices. To see the full list of risk items recommended by the FDA, click the link in the description. Some violations can be corrected immediately, and if they are, the inspector may indicate on the inspection form that the violation was corrected on-site. If a violation was also cited in the previous inspection, it will be labeled as a repeat violation to indicate that it is a recurring issue. Most inspection forms also include a section for the inspector to annotate any general comments and notes. Health departments that haven't adopted this recommended system will usually still check for similar risk items, though they may use different naming and nomenclature. The categorization system used by a health department will typically impact if and how they score inspections. Given all the nuances and variations in inspection formatting, understanding inspection scores can be a challenge. In the next video of this 4-part series, we break down the different types of health inspection scoring systems and attempt to demystify them. For more insights and news on food safety, subscribe to our channel below or visit us at hazelanalytics.com.